there, this is Rose with Remodeling Wizards of Maryland. On today's episode, we've got 3 topics for you. First up, for Terminology Tuesday, we define the term faucet aerator. Next up, we're going to give you an update on a nightmare situation that one of our clients was facing when they dealt with a different contractor. Lastly, we're going to ask the contractor, what's an access panel and why do I need one? Stay tuned. It's Terminology Tuesday, the day of the week where we pick a construction term and we talk about it. Today's term is faucet aerator. John, can you tell us what that is?
Sure, Rose. A faucet aerator, that is a screen. It's attached to the very tip of your faucet so that the water doesn't just gush out. What happens is it goes through the screen. The screen turns the water into a bunch of tiny streams of water, introduces some bubbles, and makes it feel like you have a nice, strong stream of water, and at the same time, you're conserving water.
Last week, we told you about a major problem that one of our clients has run into based on the work of a previous contractor. We wanted to give you an update on where that project stands. John, can you tell us what's going on?
Sure, Rose. This is the project where a previous contractor built an addition, did a lot of work on the inside of the house, put all the drywall up, painted, trimmed, totally done, and the roughing was never inspected. So we had to go back and work with the county to try to find a way to get this house through a final inspection. Our next step this week, we're going to go in with a electrical company who is going to test all of the wiring. We're not going to take the drywall out to do that. They're going to be testing the wiring at the outlets, the switches, at the circuit panel. And they're going to certify that wiring is good or if it has any breaks in it. And of course, if it's not the code, we're going to have to go in and fix it. The other thing we're doing is we're bringing our structural engineer in. There was some work done in the garage where the roof trusses just didn't look right. So the engineer is going to come in and either certify that this is passable to code, or we're going to have to do some repairs. And lastly, as much as we tried to avoid taking drywall out, the inspector said for sure we needed to take drywall out. Not the entire house, however, that's the good news. But we do need to take drywall out to show some of the structural components. So that's what we're doing this week, and hopefully we'll be able to come up with a full plan after we're finished this week.
Today, we're going to ask the contractor, what exactly is an access panel and why is it important? John, can you tell us?
Sure, that's a great question about access panels. Access panels are not just important to have access to, for example, let's say a plumbing valve. There might be a shut-off valve for your hose bit, and that shut-off valve may be in the basement that's finished. Well, if it's not visible, we want to have a hole there with an access panel so that we can reach in and turn off the shut-off valve. The other reason why we may need an access panel is you may have a junction box where several wires are tied together and it's hidden behind the wall in a junction box. That's a no-no. We have to make sure we have access to that junction box. And the other part that I really always like to see an access panel is behind your tub. If you can have an access panel behind your tub, not only do you have access to the shut-off valves of the hot and cold water, but you also have an area in case there's ever a leak behind the tub or in the drain where you can access the backside of the tub and do repairs. Access panels are important, and in many cases, an access panel is code.
Thanks so much for watching today. If this was helpful, like, follow, and subscribe to our page. See you next week.